Horner has spoken for the first time since allegations of inappropriate behaviour made against him were dismissed. Horner was placed under investigation after the allegations from a female colleague who now has the right to appeal the verdict. Today, Horner has told Sky Sports News that despite the investigation, unity within the team has never been stronger.
We've had the outcome. I know there are no winners in this, but was it what you expected?
Look, I'm just pleased that the process is over. I obviously can't comment about it, but we're here very much to focus now on the Grand Prix and the season ahead and trying to defend both of our titles.
Yeah, you think that is? You hopeful it's the end of the matter?
Well, look, I can't give you any further comment, but the process has been conducted and concluded, and yeah.
Is it a regret it became public, Christian?
Look, again, I'm not going to be able to give you, I'm afraid, any further comment on it, but I'm pleased to be here in Bahrain and with the team focused on the season ahead.
That's my last thing. Unity within the team, because people are reading all sorts of things. We've seen you with all the other major figures. The team is unified.
Within the team has never been stronger.
Well, what do the other team owners think? Horner's biggest rivals, Toto Wolff and Wolff Brown, have called for more transparency in the investigation.
Read the statement, which was pretty basic, I would say. My personal opinion is we can't really look at behind the curtain. At the end of the day, there is a lady in an organization that has spoken to HR and said there is an issue, and it was investigated. And yesterday, the sport has received the message it's all fine. We've looked at it, and I believe that with the aspiration as a global sport on such critical topics, it needs more transparency. And I wonder what the sport's position is. We are competitors, we are a team, and we can have our own personal opinions or not, but it's more like a general reaction or action that we as a sport need to assess what is right in that situation and what is wrong.
From what I've seen, there continues to be a lot of rumors and speculation, questions. I think the sanctioning body has a responsibility and authority to our sport, to our fans. I think all of us in Formula One are ambassadors for the sport on and off the track, like you see in other sports. And so I think they need to make sure that things have been fully transparent with them. And I don't know what those conversations are, and that it needs to be thorough, fully transparent, and that they come to the same conclusion that has been given by Red Bull, and that they've agreed with the outcome. But I think until then, there'll continue to be speculation, because there are a lot of unanswered questions about the whole process. And so I think that's what's needed by those that run the sport to really be able to draw a line under it. Until then, I think there'll continue to be some level of speculation by people, and I don't think that's healthy for the sport.
We're being asked questions as competitors here, and are we talking as competitors? Are we talking with the right moral approach, with the values based on the speculations that are out there? But I just simply think that as a sport, we cannot afford to leave things in the vague and in the opaque on critical topics like this, because it's gonna, this is gonna catch us out, because eventually, we are in a super transparent world. Eventually, things are gonna happen, and I think we have the duty, or the organization has the duty to say, well, we've looked at it, and it's okay, and then we can move on. And I think it's sometimes very short-sighted to try to, suppress it. But I'm not saying this has happened. We are standing from the outside and looking at it, but just as looking at statements or at press releases or at timelines, it just seems that it's a bit not as modern as things go in this world, in the real world out there. But maybe in Formula One, we just have a little bubble, and we think that's okay.
Well, that's Toto Wolff. Here is Craig Slater live in Bahrain, who we saw talking just now to Christian Horner. And despite your best efforts, ironically, Craig, we probably know now more about what Zach Brown and Toto Wolff think about this than what Christian Horner thinks.
Well, conceivably, I mean, Zach Brown and Christian Horner are calling for transparency in this matter. They're suggesting there that, as they call it, the sanctioning body, I suppose they mean the regulator of Formula One, the FIA, should have a window into the detail of this investigation, just to reassure everyone that nothing untoward has happened within the Formula One workplace, as it were. I think Red Bull's response to that is that it's the parent company rather than the competitor Red Bull Racing which instigated this investigation, that they are a private company. And while there is still an appeal window open in this investigative process, which is what the Red Bull statement made clear yesterday, perhaps there isn't the scope to offer out the detail of this report even to the FIA. I understand the FIA, Formula One, have signalled their keenness to have sight of the detail of this report, but Red Bull's parent company, as is their right as a private company, see this as an internal workplace investigation, and matters of privacy would mean that they would not be sharing such detail with external bodies as they would see it. So let's see if that changes, perhaps if the appeal window closes at some point. But yeah, that's, I think we could have predicted what Brown and Wolff would have said. It's more in line with what they were saying last week as well about their wish for transparency in this matter.
Indeed, yeah. Well, the scene, the spectacular backdrop that we've seen behind you, particularly at night, Craig, every day this week reminds us of the backdrop we're going to have to the actual racing. Don't forget, the race is Saturday, a day earlier than usual, first race of the new season. And Craig, Toto Wolff has seen something to get him excited in the last few minutes.
Yeah, maybe Lewis Hamilton is top of the timesheet at the moment. And there is this rumour that's spread around since pre-season testing that the Mercedes car is significantly better than the times they put in. Were they masking their form just a little bit? So Hamilton leading the way right now from Fernando Alonso. Charles Leclerc third quickest at the moment. It's early days in this second practice session, which is the most representative ahead of qualifying under very similar conditions tomorrow evening. We also heard today that Max Verstappen seemed deeply unhappy with his car, complaining that all sorts of things on it were miles off, as he put it. Now has been a fairly usual refrain from him, even last season when he was dominating the sport. Maybe they leave a very open window in the setup for that car and dial it in as the sessions progress. So let's see. He's surely still favourite to take the opening victory here, but it would be really heartening at the start of a 24 race season if the rest are firmly in touch, because I think the feeling is Red Bull will hit a design plateau at some point, and the others are still very much on an upward curve. They've got new designs, particularly Mercedes, and they will get better over the course of the year.